Hey, welcome back to Sunrise. It's now 17 minutes after 6 o'clock, and that means it's time for your Tuesday headlines. And when TK comes, panam panam, we don't want bad news, panam panam. Only the news, panam panam.
Headlines, panam panam.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How art thou?
I'm excellent. How are you?
I'm great, magnificent. I'm happy that nobody's having a loud conversation on their phone or talking in public on their speaker.
You see that? You see everybody knows etiquette in here.
Have you ever experienced that? I don't know. They turn on their phone and they're on and it's on speaker. Mess something to your ears? Away, I can't hear.
No, because then watch the video on TikTok that you shouldn't put the phone to your head, or else because you're gonna get brain cancer. So they only talk on speaker now.
My favorite are the people who are on the phone but shouting so loudly that you think they're trying to actually speak to the person wherever they are, wherever in the world, because they're man, what? Everything good, man. And you're like, hey, the telephone have a microphone.
People are, the ones too who talk on their phone in the movie. I
haven't seen that in years.
In the movie.
Really?
I think that must be the heights of hutupeccary.
Wow.
I've not seen that.
I've
not seen that in a long time.
Please use that in a sentence. To use your cell phone in the movie is a hutupeccary.
It's hutupeccary. I think we need to add that.
Yeah.
Speaking of adding, let's add on over to the headlines. We're gonna talk about what's happening right now. But first and foremost, big up to all of you on YouTube. You know our YouTubers will love you.
True.
And good morning. And I'm sure that you're live and active in the comments.
Yes.
So, Education Ministry investigates incident of McGrath High School boy barred over hairstyle. The Ministry of Education is investigating an incident at McGrath High School in St. Catherine where a student was barred from entering the school due to his hairstyle. The student, who was prevented from attending classes for violating the school's grooming policy, shared a video on TikTok accusing the school of unfair treatment and calling for intervention from the ministry. The video quickly went viral, sparking renewed public debate over school grooming policies. In response, the Ministry of Education confirmed it is working closely with the school to address the issue of and ensure that proper procedures are followed moving forward. The ministry also stated that it has received a preliminary report as part of an ongoing investigation launched last week after the video began circulating. According to the report, the student arrived late to school and was warned about both his tardiness and his non-compliant haircut.
There's so much to this story. It's a proper onion of a story, because there's so many different layers to it. First of all, the video went viral for more than one reason.
Right.
The video went viral partially because so many people were, to put it mildly, concerned about his need for schooling, especially English class, or the ability to speak. And so people were saying, you really need to focus on your book and not your hair. That's one issue. But there are many issues. This issue of grooming comes up every academic year. And the media, sometimes we treat it like it's a brand new story every time, like it's, like 51st dates. This is something that happens every academic year. And the issue is that you have policy and regulations that's supposed to guide behavior of individuals, but guide behavior of school administrators. And so there's a question of, what should cause us to deny access to school to an individual? Because this is a case of learning loss. So what are the factors that should contribute to an administrator making a decision that you are not going to get access to the school, and is grooming one of them? And
then again, for me, there is statute and there is also case law where students should not be barred from school.
Precisely.
And we have to take those things. So there are precedents there that say that what you think is grooming might be subjective. And so there has to be a general consensus as to what is grooming. So for example, you might think Dennis's hair is not groomed because you don't like bald head. But that's not the point.
Or let's say beard. Because some people might say the rule is that you can wear a groomed beard.
Yeah, but what is a groomed? Yeah.
Because if I grow it down to here and I clip it up and Rick Ross, then it might, I'm saying it, I spent a lot of money to groom this.
Yeah, but to you, it's not groomed.
But to you, it's not groomed quite too much.
Is, listen, where we are, especially with our males and their low academic performance, let me just start by also saying that I support rules, okay? There are rules
I was going there as well.
So I'm not about flouting rules, flouting the law. I'm not adhering to school policy. But it cannot be to the detriment of the learning of our students, because I saw another student and he was apparently or allegedly barred too from school. And when
Same school or different
No, different school.
Okay.
But when I saw the hair, it looked groomed to me. I saw the line. His hair is of a different texture, right? And as far as I'm concerned, it looked groomed. But then the school is saying that it's not groomed. So I need the minister. I'm happy she's going to be here, I think sometime this week, because we have to put it to her as to what is this grooming policy and how can we help our students not to be barred while still adhering to the policies of the school. Because at the end of the day, we need our students to learn. I don't take the position, oh, what here have to do with this. No, here has something to do with it.
Exactly. And
so it can't be a free-for-all.
And there are what I was going to say is that there are so many people who have so much to say about what the school needs to do and what the school needs to do. You could not run a school, you could not run a class if you tried. You could not run a form, you would not be a good form teacher, some of you, much less a grade coordinator or a vice principal or a principal. Running a school is difficult. Managing the behavior of unruly teens is difficult. And then in those teen years, one of the defining features of adolescence is challenging the establishment.
Yes.
They might challenge the authority of them parents, they might challenge the authority of teachers,
and also
etc.
then some of these same students are also adults in their own right.
Yes.
Because many of them don't have any parents, and them grow themselves. So how dare you now, Miss TK, tell me
so we can't, whatever.
I mean,
my question is, in the land of the birthplace of a Marcus Garvey, you know, so a place that births so many great black people, Jamaica. The issue of, say, for example, oh, you can't come to school or you can't come to work or whatever because you have an afro or you have locks or you have I don't know, cornrows instead of creamed hair, whatever it is. I don't understand why in 2020, what would I know, 5 years? Why in 2025 those rules exist. So I'm one of those people who don't necessarily understand, okay, this student has an afro, why does that impact
rules
his
are
rules
just like you can't go to the embassy with your phone.
Rules are an extension of your morals.
That makes sense because you can
No, I don't.
You can cause damage.
No, you see, that's the thing.
So what's the damage that an afro in a classroom can cause, or locks
and that's
in a
the question that we sometimes ask. What is the mischief that you're trying to remedy?
Right, that's what I'm curious about.
And it is something that's important, and I think that we accept that it is an issue, but let's just understand that rules stem from societal values, and values change over time.
Yes.
So, for instance, in the 70s, that was probably a small afro, or in the 60s, that was a baby afro. I've seen graduation pictures of some very accomplished people, and the graduation picture back then, the hairstyle was bigger, the main, you know. So that wouldn't have been an issue. There are people. So, for instance, every summer, especially if we're going away, I cut Jackson's hair differently, and I'll say, I will say we're going to give him a mohawk. But you see, from one says mid-August, turn the corner. That if a growth kind of a cut up, kind of go back to school in a mohawk here. Cause me just feel like say him not go to school in mohawk. No, you might.
But suppose I feel like myself.
And that's what I'm saying. Hold on, no. But what I'm saying is, hold on, no. But my preference doesn't elevate to the level of a rule. And what I'm saying is, who, as a ministry, then we have to have the conversation about who sets the rules. And because there's another issue, and I know the minister not going to want to say it when she comes, but there's another issue. Ministry established policy And school principal say, me no business, but what ministry say, and me run my school, you can't wear it coming here. And many school administrators are defying
the
ministry's orders and embarrassing the ministry. And then when now a situation happens,
the ministry get called
and the minister get called for a can we get a comment? And I find it hilarious. And I'm like, why do we as media have strength for everybody else except who should take responsibility? Because it's easy to call the minister or the PS for a comment. Call the principal who deliberately said there's a policy that says you mustn't keep the picnic outside school gate, and then you carry a story about picnic at the school gate and you're calling the minister. Call the principal.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that the minister will be here on Thursday. We will be able to ask a few of these questions and definitely discuss this issue.
Just my annoyance is just like, it seems like a recurring decimal because, as you said, every school term is like this over and over and over again. And we need to just get it right and get it dealt with and understand that we have to standardize the system.
Exactly.
And so that our children can benefit, because education is of paramount importance. But I say this, it cannot be a free-for-all, because those same students are going to run amok when they become adults and you want to go to work in anything. And I'm saying, TK, when we go to the embassy, Dennis, and they say no Tam or no this, nobody not out there making no nice.
No, everybody's
just
the
conform
humblest.
Yeah.
Everybody's suddenly the most conforming and humble, because guess what? We conform to rules when we know that rules have consequences. So because what we conform to is a thing called consequences. We conform to enforcement.
And consistency, yeah.
We conform to enforcement. At the end of the day, hey, I don't want to lose my visa. I not talk so and so on the TV cam. I don't want them. No, Natasha. So in the end of the conversation,
that's a rule. That's a rule.
No, it's not a rule.
Our producer is telling us to go to the next headline. Dennis is saying no to the rule. And it's fine.
It's not a rule, and it's fine.
Is your life safe?
Yeah. But what I'm saying
and
is...
also, a picnic must eat a picnic's dinner. Enough people love to say, oh, you're a child. A child cannot do what an adult does.
But here's my question. As a country who has suffered under slavery and under white rule and has had rules applied upon us that have been for the detriment of us as a people, I find it so interesting that we hold so tightly to rules in general.
Yeah.
So my question is, if the rule does not make sense, just like back in the day, black people drinking at this water fountain is a rule. You're not supposed to, that's a rule. And everybody was like, no, you don't do that because that's just not done. That's the rule. Then why is this rule not under the same
So that's what the ministry needs to know.
Evolve, and I'm saying, and I'm sure it's not ministry. I'm sure it's not ministry.
That the rules have to evolve and based on the situation, and that is why we need the minister, we need the ministry to let it be known, and principals who violate or administrators who violate, they ought to be brought to the books, because you cannot and should not be holding back students because of our African heritage or those African features which define who we are. Get what I'm saying? But I just find out that we hold on to African nationality when it's convenient. Everybody nationality, I have 30-inch bust down.
Anytime you want defy discipline. Anytime they want to define discipline, it's my nationality. It's my nationality, Miss Kitty.
Listen, TK will represent the queen around here, so don't even.
Advocate for the Sarah get to Africa. Oh yeah. In the bus down.
Sunrisers, I wish I was able to get to the other headlines, but because of the breaking of rules right here, that's all the time that we have. Yes, your TK. I'm just putting off responsibility. The rule was to speak about the headline for a certain amount of time. We have broken that rule. Please proceed.
Not break no rules. After the break. Convenience, my nationality.
Amandla away too.
Okay, great. Fine. After the break, you see these topics, you know, we need a square table. Need a square table to ventilate these issues. But really, guys, we have to look about our children, but we have to ensure that our children understand that there are rules and we have to try as best we can to abide by them, all right? We're going to inhale, exhale, take a break, and once we come back, we're having some information on the One Health Conference Jamaica 2025. Please stay tuned. So much more right here on Sunrise. You see, to get all of us together, it's a lot, but we love you, and we want to hear from you as well, all right? So it's Sunrise. As always, it's CVM on a Tuesday.